y'all. Welcome back to Moments with Miss Amy. I am so glad you joined me. So, today I want to talk to you a little bit about thinking. I know you probably saw that in the thumbnail and thought, what is she doing? And I was thinking. And I think, as I'm talking about thinking, what I want to share with you, there was a scripture that I ran across, and it's kind of crazy because I have a lot going on in my life right now and a lot of things that I'm gearing up towards and working on. And I'm finding that if I take the time and I do a little bit of thinking ahead, planning out what it is I'm going to do and really envisioning what's happening, then I have so much better energy and I go into it so much stronger. And that kind of got me investigating a little bit. Why is that? And this is what it led me to. So, Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. So our thoughts shape who we are. So be careful. You want to guard your thoughts. Now, as I was doing a little bit of research into this, I did a little bit more looking, and I came across this blog, and it's from The Positive Mom. Her name is Elena Fernandez, and she said, everything we do or don't do begins with a thought, and our thoughts reflect where our heart is and who we are becoming. She talks a lot in her blog that I was reading about the law of attraction. And that was one of the things I was curious about because I began thinking that what we think about, what we do, is things that we actually end up manifesting, which is the law of attraction. And so it got me thinking a little bit about it. And she does speak in her blog about that, the law of attraction. And there's actually a book out there, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, back 2006. Recently, I guess there's a movie. I haven't seen it yet. I've got to look it up. But it's The Secret, Dare to Dream, with Katie Holmes and Josh Lucas in it. And in her blog, she was talking, and it kind of connected, Elena was, the positive mom, it kind of connected with where my mind was going and what I was thinking about, because I find that if I'm thinking negative thoughts, if I've got a lot of stuff that's going on and I'm just not thinking positive and moving in a positive direction, it seems like I really don't get very far very fast. Yet, if I am thinking like, oh, this is what I'm going to do and this is how it's going to go, and just envisioning what it looks like, suddenly I'm beginning to start taking steps that direction. And I'm excited and I'm full of energy. And so that's why I wanted to share that with you today, because I think sometimes what happens with us is we don't notice. Yeah, truly. I think that we don't always notice what we're thinking about. And I think sometimes we can get stuck in a rut of maybe not even just negative thinking, but kind of not thinking. There's so many things that we can do without even thinking about it. When you brush your teeth in the morning, you grab that toothbrush, you put on your toothpaste, and you just get going brushing. And you're not even thinking about, oh, let me take the toothpaste, let me pop open the top, let me spread it on my brush, let me put it in the water. You don't have to think these thoughts through because they're things that your subconscious mind is already doing, is already working towards, because you've done it so many times, it just becomes rote. It just becomes a habit. Well, with that, sometimes life can just become a habit. Sometimes we can get stuck doing the same things all the time and not even realize that we're not growing, not even realize that we're not taking positive steps in a positive direction for the future that we want to have. And that's where I began thinking the process through a little bit more about, what am I doing? Am I intentionally envisioning where I'm going or not? Am I just spending my day hurrying from one little thing to the next little thing that has to be accomplished? I mean, we're headed into the holiday seasons. I know I'm not exactly dressed like it. We're in Florida, and I got to tell you, the sun is out. It is absolutely gorgeous today, and it's definitely not long sleeve temperatures right now during the middle of the day. Although at night, I have to admit, I'm like wearing a coat and stuff out at night down here, which I know it's nowhere near as cold as, a lot of places in the world, but I get chilly. So, but during the day, it's gorgeous, and I'm getting out that last little bit of, tank top weather. But life's ramping up. It's getting busier because the holidays are coming. And with that, it brought the realization to me that if I'm not careful, I'm going to get caught up in the busyness of everything. And I'm not going to continue moving in the direction that I want to go. So one of the things I did is I'm working with an inspiration partner. If you don't already have one, I'm telling you what, best thing I've added to my life. Gotta be serious, because my partner is also working towards something positive in his life. And so we're able to encourage each other, but we're also able to hold each other accountable. And that is amazing. But anyway, so what we did was we literally took December 24th, which for me is a big deal because that is Christmas Eve. My family loves Christmas, but it's also a time of season that I get reminders, about all that God has done for me and things like that. But we took December 24th and we actually made it a specific day that by that point we will have gotten through a bunch of curriculum that we're working on doing. And a lot of times people go, oh my gosh, the holidays are coming. There's no time for me to add anything. There's no time for me to put any deadlines. But here's the thing. There's stuff going on in life all year long. There really is. And there's no reason that we can't go ahead and make a positive step for ourselves and put a deadline even during the holidays to make sure that we accomplish the things that we want to so that we can go into next year stronger, readier, and moving forward. And so that's one of the things we chose to do. And so the scripture makes me think, again, but for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. And I realized that when I'm thinking futuristic, when I'm thinking positive, when I'm thinking of things that are pure and worthy and good and kind and generous and just positive, healthy thoughts, I find that I am a more positive, healthier person. I have more energy. I'm somebody that others want to be around. For goodness sake, I'm somebody I want to be around. Because y'all, when I get going with negative mindset, negative thought, I don't even want to be around me, much less anyone that I love wanting to be around me. Just put me to bed, tell me to get up again with a happy, positive thought when I get up, But I realized that even as the craziness of the holidays are coming, that this was an important time because not only do we have everything that's happening in the world going on right now as we're still kind of rolling through the ends maybe of the corona pandemic, but we've also got just so much busyness going on that we may not be guarding our hearts. We may be letting the stress and the fear and the negativity. I mean, they're talking, like if you get any news at all, I avoid it as much as possible. But if you do, you're hearing about the inflation getting higher and getting worse and all of this negativity that causes us to not have healthy thoughts coming into our mind. Fear comes in. Oh my goodness, if inflation's going up, how am I going to make it? I'm barely making it now as I am. And instead of creating positive moments ahead, we begin to draw back. We begin to withdraw. And we begin to create negativity in our surroundings, even without outside stimuli making it negative. Now, I'm not downplaying the coronavirus, and I'm not downplaying the inflation going up. I'm not downplaying the, boats off of the, well, I guess ships, it wouldn't be boats, but off of the shore and not getting unloaded and scarcity of things. I'm definitely not downplaying any of that. But what I am telling you is that you can make it worse on yourself just by what you're thinking. We have that ability to manifest our futures, manifest what's going on. And that's why it's so important that we guard what's in our hearts, what's in our minds, that we're careful not to do that. One of the best ways to do that is to realize that life goes on. Good or bad, life goes on. So to put yourself in a space with so much fear about what's happening and what's going on is not going to make it a positive life if that's where your dwelling is in the negatives and the drearies. So instead, okay, inflation is going to be going up. What can you do in a positive way to prepare for that? Well, maybe instead of spending X amount of dollars every week at things that you could tweak your finances a little bit, that you could tweak your budget just a little bit and put a little bit back for a nest egg. Or perhaps, I mean, one of the things that we did was making sure that we shopped ahead. We've actually got some extra supplies of things here at the house, made sure that we tweaked our family budget and our family, grocery list out a little bit to not stockpile. I mean, come on, y'all, we're living in a motorhome, but to make sure to pick up some of the things that were important for us. Now that we knew that we would be using, that we knew that, okay, if prices go up, we're going to be frustrated having to pay extra for that, but it is something we really want to have in our life. Staples, toilet paper, paper towel, that kind of stuff, but also toothbrushes and razors. I mean, for me, it's a big deal that I have a specific kind of razor. Y'all know that I deal with the psoriasis and stuff. Well, I have to be careful with what I use. So I went ahead and I picked up what I wouldn't have picked up for another month or two, but I just threw it into the cart now because why not? I can have it here for myself. And again, you have to choose what you've got going on and where you're living in the world and what can help you. But if you're worrying about where things are going to be as inflation goes up, or if you're worrying about, oh, it's getting colder, is coronavirus going to get worse again, you're not putting healthy vibes into your body. You're not making sure that you're doing what you need to for your body to stay healthy. There's nothing wrong with building up your immune system. Whether the coronavirus is coming or not, again, in another wave or whatever, or another version, or, whatever they're saying right now, the importance of making sure that your immune system is strong is important anyway. So instead of looking at the negative and being fearful of, oh my gosh, I need to do this because, no, guard that heart, man. Be like, hey, I want to go into 2022 the strongest, best, healthiest me that I can be. So you know what? I'm going to increase my vitamin D. I'm going to make sure that I'm getting the sleep that I need. I'm going to increase the water and start doing those things that you can do, but in a positive way instead of in a fearful way. I'm serious. It will change everything when you start doing that. When you start thinking positive, guarding what is in your heart, guarding your mind and your thoughts, because that makes you a more intentional person. And when you're being more intentional, you are making sure that the future that you're creating with your thoughts and your positive energy is actually a future that you're going to be excited about going into. So rather than choosing fear, rather than choosing to allow all these negative thoughts into our heart to cause us to worry, why not use that law of attraction? Why not use the positive? Thinking what it is you want to have and making sure that you're taking care of yourself. And like I said, going into 2022, the strongest, best, happiest, healthiest you that you can be. So drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought. What's your favorites of the law of attraction? Like how do you use that in your life? Have you seen the movies? Let me know what you think. Make sure that you subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell so you know when the next video is going to drop. And I want to thank you again for joining me for Moments with Miss Amy.